The WNBA playoffs are supposed to be about players, buzzer beaters, and championship dreams, not front office bombshells that rock the entire league. But this time, the biggest headline didn't come from the court. It came from the sidelines, where the New York Liberty pulled the trigger on the most shocking move of the postseason. Head coach Sandy Brondello, the architect behind New York's resurgence, the woman who delivered them a championship and guided them to back-to-back finals appearances, is out. Fired. Gone. Just like that. No warning. No farewell tour. Just cold, calculated business. The decision sent shockwaves across the WNBA, not just because of Brondello's resume, but because of what it means for the future. The Liberty had one of the most talented rosters in basketball, with Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones leading the charge. Yes, injuries plagued them this season. Yes, they looked tired by the time the Phoenix Mercury knocked them out of the playoffs. But through all of that, Brondello never lost the locker room. She never lost her players' trust. In fact, the postgame interviews told the opposite story. Stewart, Ionescu, Jones, every star rallied behind their coach, defending her, praising her, making it clear she wasn't the problem. And then, just hours later, the front office decided she was disposable. For many fans, it feels like the Liberty just ripped out their own foundation. This wasn't just a firing. It was a betrayal. A betrayal of a coach who took them from an afterthought to a juggernaut. A betrayal of the culture she built brick by brick. And yet, while Liberty fans mourn, Indiana Fever fans are salivating. Because if there's one franchise that desperately needs a coach who can maximize a generational superstar, it's Indiana. And if there's one coach who could unlock Caitlin Clark's full potential, it's Sandy Brondello. Think about it. Brondello isn't some journeyman coach with a few decent seasons on her resume. She's elite. 2 WNBA championships, over 100 career wins in New York alone, a .600 career winning percentage. She's taken multiple franchises from mediocrity to relevance. She understands not just how to coach stars, but how to elevate them into legends. Pair her with Caitlin Clark, and suddenly you don't just have a team, you have a revolution. The numbers back it up. In 2023, Brondello led New York to a 32-8 record, their best in franchise history. In 2024, she delivered the city's first ever WNBA championship, a Game 5 thriller against the Minnesota Lynx that instantly became one of the league's greatest finals. And in 2025, despite injuries decimating her roster, she still pushed them back into the playoffs. That's not just winning, that's consistency. That's proof she knows how to navigate adversity and still come out on top. So why on earth did New York let her go? The answer, at least publicly, is as simple as it is brutal: championship or bust. ESPN reported that Brondello's job was essentially dangling by a thread unless she delivered another title this year. Anything less, and the Liberty front office was ready to move on. That's the Wall Street mentality of their ownership group: dominance on demand. It doesn't matter if your team was shredded by injuries. It doesn't matter if your players fought like warriors through pain. If you don't win the final game of the season, you're replaceable. And that's exactly what happened. But here's where things get interesting. Brondello being on the market doesn't just shake up New York, it shifts the entire WNBA landscape. The moment the news broke, fans and analysts alike started pushing one narrative louder than any other. Indiana Fever, go get her. Dump Stephanie White, hire Sandy Brondello. Pair her with Caitlin Clark and watch the league lose its mind. Why is the demand so fierce? Because many Fever fans are tired of Stephanie White. They see questionable rotations. They see favoritism. They see Caitlin Clark benched in crucial moments. And they believe Indiana's progress has come not because of White's coaching, but in spite of it. They're not asking politely for Brondello. They're demanding her. Twitter threads, YouTube comments, Facebook groups, it's everywhere. Hire Sandy. Get Clark the coach she deserves. And make no mistake, this isn't just about Indiana. It's about Clark. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the face of the WNBA. The ratings spike when she plays. Tickets sell out when she's in the building. Her name trends on social media, whether she's lighting up the scoreboard or getting fouled hard. She is the league's most valuable asset, whether veterans like it or not. And pairing her with Brondello, a coach who has openly praised her, who has already shown a willingness to empower her, would tilt the balance of power across the league. We saw a glimpse of it at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. Clark, sidelined with a groin injury, literally pulled strings to make Brondello her coach. That wasn't a random move. That was intentional. And Brondello embraced it. She made Clark an honorary assistant coach, clipboard in hand, calling plays, motivating teammates. She even said Caitlin could coach as much as she wanted. That level of respect is unheard of from a veteran coach to a second-year player. It showed the world what their partnership could look like, and fans haven't forgotten. Now, critics will say this is all a fantasy, that the WNBA won't allow it, that Brondello's firing was about politics as much as performance, that the league doesn't want Clark paired with the one coach who could unleash her dominance completely. They'll argue that this was calculated, that Brondello smiling and laughing with Clark at All-Star Weekend didn't sit well with certain corners of the league, that this is less about wins and losses and more about control. And when you look at how Clark has been treated, hard fouls ignored, minutes slashed, schemes that don't fit her, it doesn't feel like a stretch. But if Indiana wants to flip the script, if they want to take control of their destiny, they need to act now. Brondello won't be on the market forever. Other teams will circle. Other franchises will recognize her value. If the Fever are serious about building a dynasty around Caitlin Clark, the move is obvious. Hire Brondello. Give Clark the coach who believes in her, empowers her, and has the championship pedigree to back it up. Because here's the reality. Sandy Brondello doesn't treat Caitlin Clark like a rookie to be micromanaged. She treats her like a generational leader to be unleashed. That kind of freedom terrifies a league built on keeping power spread thin. But for Indiana, it could be the very thing that transforms them from a rebuilding project into a dynasty. The Liberty just made the dumbest move in their franchise's history. But for the Fever, it could be the smartest. The only question is whether they'll seize the opportunity or let it pass them by. So now it's over to you. Should the Fever dump Stephanie White and make Sandy Brondello their next head coach? Should Indiana give Caitlin Clark the one coach who can unlock her full potential and tilt the WNBA's balance of power? Or will the league step in to block it, afraid of what Clark and Brondello could become together? Let me know what you think in the comments below.